Good evening, ponderers.
Hi,
You're here
Ponderers.
with Kathy and Roxanne. I've been doing a little intro. Haven't done an intro in a while. Um, this is Chat with Kathy and Roxanne, and we are talking about the way home. We are ponderers.
Tonight is episode 8. So, two
Yes.
more weeks to go.
Two more episodes to go. We've got 9 and 10.
Mhm.
Everyone is here saying hi. Um, let's see. Everyone, I love it because everybody talks about the weather when they're talking to each
We had
other.
like 54 today here in Illinois.
Oh, we were almost 60 here
Yeah.
in Jersey, and we will be again tomorrow. The kids are
Same
loving
tomorrow. It's going to be also warm.
my kind of weather. Hello, Catherine. Does anyone see my little froggy? Last week they said froggies, and I didn't understand what they were talking about. I mean, I get it because of the pond, but then I saw something really cool. Jordan, who would happen to be our guest, he was sharing, he's young Colton. He was sharing how when you take the plunge into that real pond, you're called a pond plunger. And they have this like, I don't know if there's this glass, but you know how you find those acrylic pedestals that are like an award and they put pond plunger on there, and there's a frog that sits on the top. And right away I went ching, 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 asked all my people and said, can you make one of them for us? And I found someone who can. So I'm like, I somewhere maybe down the line want to have our own little pond plunging award.
There you go. Mhm.
Here it is. I said the froggy thing because they give out the pond plunger awards. Yeah, that's what I was talking about just now. So I thought that was cool. Lynn is saying, I can't believe we only have 2 episodes left. I don't know what I'm going to watch when it's over. Well, for me, and I'm waiting for people to pop in and they're coming in. For me, I liked how my shows were spaced out. Like so the past few seasons it was The Way Home, a little gap of time, and then picked up with When It Calls the Heart. They're all flowing together, which keeps me crazy busy. Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night. And then, whatever movies I like in between, I am in love with Hallmark Plus. So then when that was over, there was The Chicken Sisters, which is amazing. If you have not seen it, please watch it. And then they brought out all the fantastic Christmas stuff on Hallmark Plus, like the Mistletoe Murders, which got a season 2. So I was in like it just now I got boom, 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 so much stuff. I'm like, what am I going to do with myself? But I got an idea. Kathy, here's my idea. I was thinking, oh, Donna, I'm glad you love Chicken Sisters. It's outstanding. Outstanding acting, outstanding everything. I had the go ahead to chat with some of the actors, and then just for whatever reason, time and all this other wild stuff that happened. But then I saw that Leah was doing some interviews, and I'm like, well, we're going to have Leah on so we can talk to her because she plays a wonderful part. Anyway, back to my idea. Here's my idea. A lot of the Hallmark movies and even series are based on books, and I am a book lover. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if we talked about the book? We had the author on because I've done that sometimes. And then we also talked about and chatted about the series or the movie, even if it's been in the past, because a lot of them I went and researched, and you can see them and they're available not only on Hallmark Plus, but just if you have the Hallmark channel, it's there for free. I accessed some of them just testing it out. And I was
Mhm.
like, yes, I think this would be a fun thing to do. But anyway, oh, I'm glad you like it, Lynn. Thank you. All right. So, yes, Deborah, it is coming back for a season 2. And Deborah, if you liked it for season 1, I did a recap for every episode, and I had on at the end um some guests. So check them out. It's fun. It's fun to hear what they have to say too. All right. Let's see. Is it always forget if it's Maxie or Moxie? I don't have
Mhm.
it's
I think
Moxie.
it's Moxie.
After The Way Home and School Spirits End, I'll be waiting for more episodes of Pokemon Horizons to release in the USA. Now, Moxie, did I tell you this? I may have, but just in case, this is just, godmother bragging here. So my godson, his first name is Luke. He's known as, and I don't know which part of Pokemon you're into. I should, but I don't. He's known as Celio's network. And travels around the world for Pokemon and competitions and works for them and trains or gives classes, and he's Mr. Pokemon himself. I don't know if you know who that is, but I'm just saying hello. Hi, Luke. A shout out to him. All right. Yes, we got a second season. There's always ponderers that are willing to have a rewatch party at any time. So true. And I've done interviews well after I got Chris to come on because he had more free time, and he popped in and he talked all about season 2, and then he shared with us how he was going to be in season 3, which is like a bit of a coup. And some of the news outlets picked that up, and I was like, oh geez, I didn't even know about it until, I don't know, I got some kind of alert, and I'm like, who's that? And I'm like, and it was news outlets picking up and then looking at our transcripts from our conversation and then printing it out like it's, like a read on the online newspaper, which I thought was funny. Let's see. You hadn't said that yet, actually, and I'm into a bit of all of Pokemon, though mostly the newer games. Okay, well, you can go look up Cilio's network, and that's my godson. I have a 28-year-old that loves Pokemon and a 9-year-old that loves Pokemon. Okay, Barb. Well, they might know who my godson is. All right, so let's dive in and splash around. Are you ready? Me start. Okay. One of the things that I wanted to talk about was there's some heavy duty traffic in the pond. So when we first watched the show, the only person that we knew for sure that could travel was Alice, right? And then not much after Alice, we realized so could Kat. And then not much after Kat, we started to suspect other people, but no one else was traveling, just the two of them. That was in season 1. When we rolled into season 2, and she knew what the mystery was. She figured out where her brother had gone. We knew, okay, he could time travel. So now we've got her brother, Jacob. And then, of course, by the time season 2 came to an end, we realized that somehow, some way, although it was kind of weird and we couldn't figure it out if he was a ghost or not, that Colton could travel. But it was confirmed definitely now. I know other people, well, not other. Elliot got to travel, but he's not a time traveler. So it's just now they're in and out of that pond, up and down, up and around, in and out, all around. Now, Grandma Fern must have traveled because we've been seen her, but we heard it in the conversation that Colton had in this week. So how about Colton? He was up and down and in and out in one outfit and this, like young Colton. And that guy got to go all over the place.
Yeah.
And now in my head, I'm trying to organize who can travel, who can't, and what in God's green earth is it all about? I still can't figure it out.
Neither can I. It seems like not only can more people time travel, just more people on the canvas entirely. And it's getting for me hard to keep up with what you were just saying, who can travel and who can't. I'm like, who's belongs to this time period and who belongs to that one and why are they here? I wish they would. I can't imagine how they're going to wind down in the next 2 episodes and wrap all this stuff up and address all the characters, which makes me think that for the final episode, we're still going to have a cliffhanger, which is kind of a bummer until and unless we know there's a season 4. I'd hate for it to end, the series to end just on some cliffhanger. So I'm kind of keeping an eye on that, but I don't know how they're going to keep up. They keep bringing more people in and not solving anything. They just bring people in and it creates more mysteries. So I'm hoping they're going to pull a Svengali act and be able to tie everything together beautifully. And I can't figure it out. It's not my job to figure it out, and I'd love to be surprised. So I'm going to kind of keep an eye on what that last episode looks like.
Right. So, Margaret is saying that the pond was like Grand Central. And Lori, yes, they jump in the pond like they're walking next door. Yeah, it's like it's nothing. Donna, I swear I saw Grandma Fern in the crowd in one of the scenes. So many people do that, and I don't really think that they hide people in the crowds and between the bushes off to the side. I don't think they do that. I think it's because of all the little clues, but I don't think the clues are like that. And I know people like there's so many wild theories, and that's if that gives people joy, that's great. But I don't think so. I look at it, people say, oh, this one, the his ex-wife was back then, and I don't think so. I think people just might look like people, and this is what they're hoping. This
You
show is, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead. Go ahead. You
This show is so complicated as it is with the obvious that that background stuff is a no. Like for instance, when they were trying to figure out when we were trying to figure out in the first season what happened to Jacob, they kept focusing on the person at the Ferris wheel at the Ferris wheel. It's nothing. It's just the person at the Ferris wheel. That kind of thing. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, when I think back to the beginnings of this story, and what really drew me in was the relationship between these three women, Alice and Dell and Kat, and them being at odds, and how they found their way back to each other, and the stories, their stories, and Elliot's story of how he grew up, and even Alice's dad. What's his name? I'm blanking.
Brady?
Alice's father, Brady. Even Brady. I mean, everybody brought some baggage to the table, and I really enjoyed, watching those characters and how they managed to solve heal themselves, heal their relationships with each other. And now it just seems like we've gotten away from that. We've gotten away from the characters, and it's all about the pond is the main character now.
Yes.
And where am I going next, and where does it want to take me to? And yeah, it's
I love good storytelling is when you don't tell, you show in writing
yes.
and even in acting, and whether it be theater on film or whatever. And I don't like it when there's a lot of telling, like telling me what happened. I would like to see what unfolded. I enjoyed when Alice went back and built a relationship with her mom as a young girl. We
Mm-hmm,
saw that develop. We
mm-hmm,
saw her be there for her, share fun times, playing music out in the field, just spending time with each other.
yeah.
And I like to see that whole relationship develop and grow. We saw how Dell and Colton were in love as adults. We watched them interact, and then we saw how, because their son was missing, how their marriage fell apart little by little.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the things too with that is that people are like, well, if he knew, why didn't he bring him back? I think he tried, but the pond wouldn't take him there for whatever reason.
Right.
So I don't like that. I was excited to go to 1974 and to see their love story. I didn't see their love story. I was told they were in love. We saw them barely a few minutes. We saw very little, like, we didn't see their boat ride and what they talked about. We just knew she threw up. We saw that he kissed her even though she had thrown up. Do you know what I mean? We
Yeah, I know
saw
exactly what you mean. Yeah.
little pieces, and we never saw them fall in love, but I'm supposed to believe that they're deeply in love. He has spent more time with Alice singing than he has spent with Dell. He spent more time with Evelyn than he spent with Dell. Like I don't see that love, and I hope we get to see more of it. I don't know.
There weren't even any. There wasn't any exploring or showing of the relationship between Colton and Evelyn. And they
Yeah.
were allegedly best friends. Or, from the note,
Mhm.
some say he was in love with her. And then he fell more in love with Dell or something. But we don't know. We don't know how he felt, or what the
Yeah.
relationship with Evelyn and Colton was. I
Mhm.
just, I don't know. And they're doing storylines, or they're doing events that I believe they must plan to pay off. For example, uh, Victor's brother, who was the best friend of Evelyn
Rick.
and called Rick. So he was on. I adored him. I thought he was so funny. and such a great character, but he's on for a couple of episodes, then he dies. So is that somehow tied to how Vic grew up so bitter and angry at the Landrys? Because they kind of showed the funeral procession and he's giving the look of death to Colton. Did I miss something where they've addressed that since then? It's like
No,
all
and
the
they have
threads.
to,
Yeah,
because it brings up the ring and the ring and why he wanted that ring. And so I'm hoping he comes back in some way in the next 2 episodes because they have to wrap that up.
yeah.
You know,
Well, you would think so. I would. Yeah, they made such a big deal, and the clock.
right.
They made a big point of that, and why Nick is back. I mean, he's not playing such the buffoon this time, not the, not the wingman. So he must have some purpose there. So let us in on it.
So in my mind, and I was watching this last episode because the episode before he acted like a buffoon is what I said. But in this past episode, he was giving out a lot of advice, and I felt there was very much a closure where he still had that bracelet, which many people talked about. And he said, yeah, I had it. My mom saved it for me. And he goes, the funny thing is I always had it on me to go give it to her. And I wound up always cut myself. He gave it to her. And they had their little conversation. And that's when he said to her, when Nick said to Alice, you're smarter than I ever was at that age. You make your own destiny. Don't feel like the deal is sealed. You know what I mean? Go out. And that made her run back and try to go see Noah. And here instead she runs into Max. You know what I mean? And then they have a conversation.
Yeah.
And she softens a little bit towards him. But I felt like Nick had good advice. He had good advice and comforting with Dell because they were both standing out there. And he was laughing when he saw the pawn action, but he realized how upset Dell was, and then he was there for her, and then they had a moment. He made her laugh, so I felt like he was closing up and tying up stuff.
But I
And
don't understand why it's his role. I mean, why they had his character doing that. I thought we had closure for him and Alice last season when they had their talk, and I thought they came to, an understanding, and he moved on and she moved on. And also, since when does Nick? I felt like, why is Nick having this conversation with Dell instead of Elliot?
Well, hold on. I'm getting to that. So he and Elliot are good friends. Okay. That's his other good friend.
No, I get that.
Right.
Yeah.
And Kat, he can't have as a friend because he crossed that line to becoming more than just friends. Right? Even though I feel like you can have that as your friend, but because they're at odds with each other. She even kind of said that about that. I need my friend, but I don't know what we're doing here. And he gives him advice and he says to him, you've loved her your whole life. What are you standing here for? Like, go and get her, figure it out.
Yeah,
so
I get that.
So I think that they made all the characters having their own issues that there can't be there for each other. Alice is a disaster. She went at odds with Dell. So they're not really there that much comforting each other. They tried to, but then their lives became disasters. Kat, her life is a disaster. She said it. She's falling apart with Elliot's falling apart. Like they're there sometimes for each other, but then they also need stuff. Like you have Elliot there remember when Jacob was upset and Alice said, that's who I always go to is Elliot. But Elliot's like trying to figure himself out. So I don't know. If it were me and I wanted to tie up loose ends, I could see why they made that for Nick and then Nick goes on his way. To me, I felt like there's not much more of a story for now. Who knows? Later on, they're trying to tie it up and ship it over. I don't know. The other thing too that I felt was, why would I feel like it's just so obvious. Like, why in the world would you even bother to bring Noah back? Do you know what I mean? Just to say goodbye, but he's not going goodbye for good. He was only gone for a few days. And I feel like Max and her, it's just so obvious to me.
That it may not even be where they're headed.
Yes, too obvious. And we know that Casey is a K and a C. That's what Kat caught, but she doesn't ever say anything about that ever again. And we don't really learn or see anything about Casey,
Right.
So, I mean, there's a lot that has to get done, and I hope that they can do it. They're good writers, but I hope that they can lay it out in a good way.
They're good writers when they're the best when they're focusing on character development and moving plot based on what the characters would do and think and feel and say. That they're brilliant at. When they switch over to having a plot device, like why I don't know why anyone's still going to the 1800s, but they keep manufacturing crises or things, reasons for them to go back, and it doesn't feel authentic to me.
I'm going to talk about that too. I know it feels that storyline. I was like, oh, I love the 1800s, but it just does not make sense to me. I don't get fed from it. I don't get any info from it. But I wanted to talk about Sherry. Colton traveled to the future. That surprised me. He didn't travel to the future. I don't know. Like, no one has traveled to the future yet. I'm not saying that we'll find out later on that they can, but Colton didn't travel to the
Well,
future.
wait. Colton allegedly died back in the was it the 90s? Was that the 90 time period?
Mhm.
And he did come and look at the family. Wasn't he coming looking at the family?
Not the future.
When was that? What time period was that?
When he sees the family, it was something from the past. It was that he watched himself have a conversation with Elliot. It was from the past. Colton did not travel to the future. Even if Colton was supposed to be dead in 1990, whatever, and he's seen in the present time, he's still not traveling to the future. He belongs in that present time.
Mm.
You know what I mean? If he didn't really die. No one on this show has traveled to the future. No one. Not one person that we know of yet. Not even the dog Finn. He didn't travel to the future either.
What about Jacob?
Jacob did. You're saying that to tease me because that's what people say. He didn't travel to the future. Jacob was from the present, fell into the past, and returned to the present time. He did not travel to the future. No one did.
Okay, I'm not gonna debate it.
Yeah,
It's not.
yeah. But people are so anyway. Let's see. Maybe the clock. This is what you brought up, Kathy, and I know Catherine had said something. Maybe the clock can turn someone's age back or forward. That would then make it possible for Alice and Nick to be.
I think that
Alice and
took
Nick
a
to be
sale.
together. Okay, thank you. All right.
We actually don't know when Colton was born. So we don't know. I think the question of who can travel, if anyone can travel to the future, is still open because we don't know when he was born. If he was born in the 1800s, then he traveled to the future for 1990 and 2017. I don't think we can close the door on that.
No, so Colton, when he goes in and out of the pond, we see the first time he ever travels. He travels, he's shocked. He gets into the pond and he travels to the past because when he comes out, he looks around and he's like stunned and he's like, where am I? And he starts walking around and he realizes when he sees those people and he looks and he's shocked when he sees the almanac and it says 1814. And when he travels, he looks like it's like about 1974. And then when he travels again at the very end of the story, it's where we saw him coming in and out of the pond and got caught by he's in his funeral wear and he got caught by Cat. Not
Well,
Cat, by Alice.
yeah, I don't know the answer, and we don't know what they're going to do with any future storylines in terms of where anyone can go or who can go. It's just, it makes you dizzy trying to think about it.
So he's been in all of the time zones now. So has Kat and so have Alice. Like they've visited all of those jumps that we know about. The 18. No, I'm sorry, that's not true because it's just Kat and her father that have been because
Been in
Kat
the
has
1800s.
gone to the 1800s. Kat, of course, is also gone to 1974, but Alice has never been to the 1800s, and Colton has been. So those two have been to all of it, and Jacob never went to 1974 either. So Kat and the biggest pond jumpers are Kat and Colton, I think, jumping up and down and in and out and always in there. But let's see. I'm hoping, Lynn says by the wait a minute, I'm sorry. Jennifer said she was frustrated at the end of episode 8. Did you feel any of that frustration this time, Kathy?
Um, just in the sense that I'm getting a little nervous that they're going to leave too many threads open by the end of the season. At this point, I was ready for them to start tying stuff up.
Well, well, we know that Casey can time jump, and we know that Casey is a K and a C. That
Mhm.
much we know. We also know, if we can go by what they said, was that they are a Landry and a Goodwin, right? Okay.
Mhm.
How, we don't know. There could be adoption involved. We don't know bloodlines. Well, we do know the only Landrys have been time traveling that we know of. So if we're
Right.
following that, she probably has Landry blood in her.
And what
Now,
time period is she from?
yeah, who knows? We have
She
no
may be
idea.
the one who can do the future.
Yes, we don't know about that.
Right.
And I don't know where we were going because I got sidetracked by all the things that people are saying.
Wrapping up, how did you feel about the end of the episode? Were
Oh
you
yeah, like what
frustrated
is
or
being, yeah, that we got answered. And also that Colton, it did go to the past in the 1800s. You know what I mean? We saw that. So Grandma Fern, they say something about Grandma Fern. Why did she travel? What was it that I heard that was said that I was like, "Oh, she did travel." One of the things too was that thing about the time that you spend, the same time that you spend in the past is the same time in the present. So if you're gone for a day, you'll be gone for, and then when someone asks, he said Grandma Fern said that, but there was something grandma they said about Grandma Fern that made me think, oh, she must have time traveled. I don't remember what the quote was.
who
I wrote it
hasn't?
down somewhere. Pardon me?
I said, who hasn't? I mean,
Right. And they're saying that only a Landry, and they thought she was a Landry by marriage. But Grandma Fern is, she says, my grandsons, and she also said her son, not her son-in-law. So her son disappeared and he was a Landry. So she is a Landry, Grandma
I'm a
Fern.
little tired of Jacob's attitude.
But I don't know how she's a Landry. Because
Yeah.
that was, yeah. You're mad, you're tired of, yeah.
Jacob's attitude. And I really hope they don't go with Evie became this bitter woman because, she lost the love of her life in Colton at the age of 17. I mean, that's that's just too much, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. If we don't find out who Casey is on this Friday's episode by the season finale, I'm going to be mad.
I think they're going to end the season with a cliffhanger. And
Hmm.
like remember last season it was Colton. I forgot what they did for the last episode of the first season.
That we saw who that cat was, the White Witch.
Yeah.
And somebody said, let's write down facts that we know. They put it on the fan page. And they started off with one, Cat is the White Witch. And then people started, oh, we don't know that. We don't know. And I thought, I removed stuff. Like I told you, we don't party poop on somebody's thing because then all those comments are hard to get rid of. We do know that she is the White Witch. There could be more White Witches. Who knows? But she absolutely is a White Witch. Let's say that.
Yep.
And then we had what else? Somebody had mentioned, and I don't even remember. Oh, Colton can time travel. We know that. That's a fact. We know that. We know that Casey can time travel. We know that Alice can time travel. We know that Jacob
You
can
know
time
that an
travel.
ordinary person can time travel if they're accompanied by a Landry.
A Landry. Yes. Yes. Okay. Um, the pond is the mysterious woman that every man wants to know.
Yeah, okay.
Rose says, and then we'll go more on with it. We want to see what everyone else is saying. That's the worry I always had with this show, wanting to add new time periods every season. It doesn't have time to focus on the small things. This show is overstuffed with plots and characters. Yes, and I hope they turn it around. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And Catherine saying, Brenda Reyes, back in those days, there was quite a bit of inbreeding, especially in small communities. Okay, listen. I can't say this enough. Yes, there was back in that day. This is Hallmark, and they will not be going into that. They won't. Up can bank my last dollar on it, okay? Let's see. I agree, Cindy. I want some 70s, less 1800s, less white witch. Yeah. I was so surprised had a ring. It was so little. The
We
ring
saw
was
so
little.
little.
Oh, yes, yes. Teenage Nick and Alice had more of an on-screen romance, absolutely, with teen Dell and Colton. And that's a problem with Dell and Colton are supposed to be the epic love story. Thank you, Rose.
Absolutely right.
You were right. They had great chemistry, those two. I love their love story back in the day, you know? Yes. It was a sad love story for me. I thought it was bittersweet because we knew it wasn't really going to be able to go anywhere. Um, I think I fell in love with Teen Colton more and more each episode. I love him so much. And guess what, Lynn? We all do. Christina, I agree with that, Roxanne. I wish we would see more of the story with Dell and Colton. Yes. Yes, yes, Cindy. 1974 was missing family scenes like in 1999 had them.
I would
Absolutely.
have loved to have met Colton's family. Um, yeah, that was just,
Yeah.
I don't,
Yeah.
even the character, even um, the magic of the different time periods. Like they start out with the 70s, which why'd you start out with the best if you weren't going to, keep up that quality and consistency? I mean, the 1990s were okay, except they just focused on the kids. It wasn't so much family, but at least it was time appropriate. And it was kind of fun with the New Year's and everything. Um, but the 70s, yeah, they got the vibe right on the music and the clothes. They nailed that. That was, I think that was wonderful. But the whole family vibe was missing.
Oh, that reminds me. This is why I thought about her being able to time travel. Dell is starting to think about why did she miss the signs about Colton and his family and time traveling. And she remembers coming out of talking to with Grandma Fern and meeting Colton outside and saying, "Why did you ever tell me that? Why didn't you ever tell me that your Grandma Fern could time travel?" And he goes, "Oh, you know her and her stories." That's why I thought, oh, wonder what was she said to her. Because then she started thinking, and then when she was having the conversation, she being Dell in present time, I think it was with Alice, like, or it must was it Alice or was it Kat? Now I'm confused. You might be able to tell me, or someone else. She more or less said, one of them said to Dell, like, why he wouldn't share that with you. And she was talking about it. And she said to her, well, maybe he felt trapped. Maybe it was something he needed to have for himself. Everybody needs something, but then you see her go with her memory sitting at the table saying to him, why didn't you lean into me and share the burden with me? You didn't trust me enough. And she said, I trust my girls. I know my girls are going to figure this out and answer these things for me, like in that conversation. So
So I
again,
wonder if they're going to, for the final episode of this season, if they're going to show someone writing another one of the threatening notes to Dell.
oh
And
yeah.
then the camera will pull back and we'll see the face and we'll see who it is. I wonder if that's how they're going to, and then we'll be totally shocked. And so that would be a cliffhanger. So
Right. Margaret says, I'm thinking the clock starts to tick soon. They get it to work. And Chris is saying that was not the same fishhook bracelet. Yeah. Yeah. And of course, Autumn saying, no closure. Alice is going back to 1999. Here's the thing. I can't get caught up in anger when people have over, oh, she belongs with Thomas, they're going to make him time travel. Oh, Thomas, all they do is kiss on each other. It makes no sense to me. And then, oh, Nick, he is have Nick, they're going to figure out a way they could be with Nick. And oh no, Cat, Alice belongs with Elliot. Oh, Elliot, and then everybody starts fighting with each other. Why? It's a show, and I'm going to watch how it unravels for me. The only thing that I will get upset with and be objective, like I will object to, is we will not have, I don't even want to say the word, we will not have people that are close relatives kissing each other and loving each other. That's not happening. Okay. This is not the horrifying, I don't know, crazy Netflix movie.
this
This,
isn't the Lifetime movie network.
yeah,
This is
it's for
Hallmark.
Lifetime. Stop with that. If I don't like, I remove it because it's a trigger for people. People get angry by it. It's just not happening. Okay. All the other stuff, I want to hear there's no team. You can love on a couple, that is fine. I want to hear your team, whatever. And this, then you start arguing and fighting, and it's just like in my head, and I have to go sift through all of it and approve stuff and throw out stuff. And I'm not the only one, but stop.
Mhm.
Um, let's see. Elliot's dad did say if he finds the ring, everything will be okay. There's something about the ring. Oh, I believe so too. That there's more to it. Will we get it this season? I hope so. We have to know about the clock. We have to know about Casey. We have to know about the almanac. Why was he grabbing that 1814 almanac and almost killed himself going in to get the almanac? Especially since he only had it for 2 years. You can't get all bent out of shape that there was tons of records in it. It was only 2 years old.
Are we
So
going to
there's,
learn more about Elliot's mother?
yeah, well, hold on. Definitely this clock thing, definitely the almanac, definitely the ring. What else? What's the other thing? Who Casey is. There's a lot of things that we have to have.
And
Um,
where's Colton? Has he been just time traveling all this time, going to different time periods? Is there another era that we haven't explored yet?
Maybe. It's disappointing that we did not see Colton's mom. Dell said in season 1 you couldn't stop Colton's family from singing. What family? We've only seen Grandma Fern. We need more family scenes. Oh God, we'll have more people
You couldn't
introduced.
stop them from singing. Was their real name the Von Trapps?
Do you know I can't stand that movie? The Sound of Music. Everybody loves it. It's such a cringe for me.
The father, Christopher.
Yeah.
He couldn't stand it either. He called it the sound of mucus.
But that conversation brought out Alice suddenly saying she wished she could go back to 1999. I think that's how the season is ending. Alice, maybe, and others will be going back to 1999. Oh, Nick is too fascinated with the pond. They felt weird. He was in the woods lurking. I think he knows and seen too much. No, he's just curious about the pond because Elliot says to him, don't be coming back because of the pond, because you're curious about it. Because yes, it's great to have that experience like he did. He said, but it has brought a lot of heartache and tragedy for those girls. As
Mhm.
much as it's cathartic, it's not. It has brought a lot of angst, right?
Yep.
Chris is saying that the original one had a leather tie and it also had a larger hook. Okay.
Official.
Yes. And you loved Dell and Nick's scene. So I did too. Maybe Nick is the baby. Why? He's never been a big key player. I don't think Nick is the baby, but I could eat my words. I could eat some swamp water.
They seem to be enlarging his role. He's become a problem solver, a confidant.
And guess what? I think Noah was there to check a box and give Alice a present day boyfriend because they never had. Maybe that's true. Nick was
Sorry,
saying
whispered character.
Nick was saying why he won't tell Claire, but was really explaining why Colton didn't tell Dell about the pond. He's saying, I wouldn't want to tell her about something I don't even understand myself. Oh, I get it. You are right, Stacy. That's why I was saying that the way they used his character was not for character development, but as a vehicle, as a conversation for all these people. He would, like you said, why was he there? And I was like, because he was giving advice to all these broken people that normally would have been there for each other. And they weren't because they were too like hot-footed to get into the pond and jump out and race over here. Let's talk about died in 2000 and time traveled to the summer of 1999. Okay.
Colton?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he time traveled to 1990. Oh, I think that's right. When they were visiting after he died, he went and he saw. Remember, that's what we were talking about. He saw himself having a conversation. We've seen Kat do that. Oh, well, my lights just went and flickered and freaked out. Oh,
Cyrus
oh,
Goodwin in your
yeah.
attic.
All right, let's talk about the 1800s, Kathy. There's a lot going on with those 1800s. And I'm not sure. Now there's a fire, and that's what they were talking about, the fire. And Colton comes and he pulls him out of the fire and he saves him. And there's all of that going on. That's a lot. And she's always running back, Kat kissing Thomas, and she even says, I'm too broken. I gotta fix myself. I don't think she says the broken to him, but she says, I need to fix myself and work on myself. And at one point he's like, I won't, be there for wait forever. And then she tells, I love the line when she was talking to Elle, Kat was talking to Elle, and she said, like, he said, what is it? Just like, because I did it, you did it kind of thing. And she's like, to even the score, we shouldn't even be in keeping score. And if we are, that's kind of telling. A hiccup, sorry. So wrap it up.
I thought they had wrapped it up. I don't know why they keep drawing this out.
I know.
They didn't draw any of the other time periods out like this.
I know. I want them to wrap it up and here's something that I've always suspected. Everybody's always said it, and I kind of think they went there. The reaction that Susanna had when she's like, we are stuck in this castle in Lingamore because out of protection, because so people don't hurt Cyrus or her. And they were having people and food coming in through the tunnels, and that's how Kat gets in. So he brings Kat down to the his office with Susanna, and he sees her in that red dress and then sees her painting. And anyway, what happens is he goes to throw it in the fire and she screams, no, and has this big panic. And he says, I know, I see it in your eyes that it says, she says, please, that's what she says. And he goes, the love you will not and cannot muster for me, your husband, she has for her. And I do think that she has more feelings than family and friendship. I think that she admires, but also, my whole electrical system's going cuckoo, and admires him. I mean, more than admires her, like is in love with her. What do you think?
I think, there's been speculation on that. I'd be surprised if Hallmark, I'm kind of surprised Hallmark even, gave a nod to that. I don't know as we see any more, but who knows what they're doing with this story. But I don't know. I don't know.
Cindy, you said that you said that, not Cindy, Rona. Hi, Rona. Colton was supposed to travel when he was a child, but Kat prevented it. She did? How'd she prevent it, Rona? Give me more, because I'm missing it. I don't know what you mean by it. Brianna, what do you think Colton meant when he showed up with Elijah's house was burning and he said that this is all my fault, I caused this, or something like that? Well, I think he's something about a rule breaker. He's broken the rules somehow. He's altered or changed.
No, because he gave them I took it as he gave them the recommendation for the potatoes and rye. And now the townspeople are saying, what are you guys, witches? What's going on? How did you know to do this?
Yes.
I think that's why he was saying, if I hadn't come back and told them that, they wouldn't be against them.
I know, Vicki. I know she hasn't been to the 1800s. Yes, I know.
Good Lord, like we need another person there. But at some point, if this show keeps going, she's going to go back and check on her mom or something. I'm sure they'll find a reason for her to go back.
I know what Rona means now because Deborah's explaining it. I think that Colton was supposed to go to the 1800s when he jumped in to save Evelyn, but Kat stopped that. So that is why the pond took Jacob instead. I see what you're saying. Remember when she came up and helped save Evelyn? Yeah, because she was drowning.
Kat should just stay home and mind her own business.
I know.
She's causing issues.
Yeah. All righty. Let's see. Something Autumn's saying. I'm not sure. I missed it. Yes, Margaret. That's right. I remembered it. It jogged my memory. Yes, her chosen family was the Landry family. Yes, she did say that. When she met. Yep. Let's see. Grandma Fern was telling Teen Dell time travel stories. I'm surprised she didn't tell Alice and Kat about that. I don't know. Cindy says, I was hoping that this season focused on Jacob in present day with Danny working at the Lingermore. I didn't think all this darkness with Jacob in the 18th century was necessary. It's just too much. Okay. I hope they spread the answers out more than they did last year. The next to last episode was slow, and then the last episode was rushed. Okay. All right. I'm not sure either, but let's talk about some happy news before my electrical system goes haywire. Um, you have anything else you would like to add?
Nope, just looking forward to see what unrolls. I didn't mean to say unravels. To see what unfolds in
Okay.
episode 9.
Yes. Deborah says, do you think that Jacob is going to try to burn down Lingamore? I don't know what he's going to do. He's going to do something because he's mad at Cyrus. So we have a contest going that is going on now. Well, I've been asking people to share photos of going like this with 4, wanting season 4. They could get creative. And I wanted to share some of the photos of people that were getting creative, and they needed to place it in the comments that it's posted on, and I'll show you what that all looks like. So that wait a minute, did I forget to post it? I did forget to post that on the slides. Anyway, I want to show you some of the examples because we're going to make like a compilation of all of them and put it together and put it out there on social media. Just another fun thing. And people added, here's some of their ideas. I love it. Isn't that cool? And we've got some more, which is cool. And then we have more, which is all cool. I love it. And then we're going to put it together. Then we also had a contest this past week that it was on Instagram, and on Instagram you had to tag the official Way Home Hallmark page, also Hallmark, and you had to tag me only because I wouldn't be able to see it and see who's doing what if you weren't tagging me. And all week you posted a photo or something and used the hashtag for season 4. But we have an official hashtag too. Now we found out, and it's just the Way Home S4, which is cool. So we put all those names in a little random generator, and we picked one out, and this person gets a ponderer package.
Or the program picked one out. Did the program pick one out, or did you pick one out?
No, random generator does. Yeah, and we spin it and the one comes out. So here is the name of the winner. Ta-da! Congratulations, Lynn Stanbridge.
Here.
You get a ponderer package. You and I will have to chat. Like, you'll have to send me a message because size is involved. Because as you can see, we are the only people that have merchandise for the Way Home, and it is approved by Hallmark. I have legal look it up for us, and the publicist shared with us, so we're allowed to use the hashtag. So as you can see, we do have t-shirts. Kathy wears hers sometimes. We see the other girls in it. We have hoodies. We have all kinds of stuff, but we have other goodies too that are in that package. So I'm excited. And
it's Lynn.
Is Lynn excited?
She is.
Oh, good. And they're all saying congratulations to you, Lynn. Very nice. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, what are you most excited for to find out? What are you really looking to find out this season?
The time traveler origins. I just would love to see Colton again and get more background on how this all started.
Okay, so here's what I want. I want to know about if there's any significance to the ring. I absolutely want to know that. I want to know, of course, where that baby is from and who that baby is. I want to know that. But the one thing that I am very interested in knowing is who is Casey? Exactly who is Casey? I'm not quite sure if we'll get that, but that is what I want. I want to know Dell's secret. Dell doesn't have a secret. Barbie, I'm going to tell you what I think about that one. Yes, who's the baby in the basket? Who is Casey and Sam? who was sending the letters. I don't even care about that. I feel like okay, fine. That part gets on my nerves. I want to know Dell's secret. See, every time people say that, I don't think she has the secret. I remember when she was having her memories with right before they did the Founders Day, right? And she was representing the family and she was nervous. She said, I feel like an imposter. I'm really not a Landry. I married a Landry. And he's like, you're a Landry in every way. And she was having her memories with Colton, right? And he was talking to her, encouraging her. And she was also saying, like, he's like, you got to open up to tell your family, don't keep it in. And that's what I think he meant. Like, she's not a sharer, especially when the last season she was going to lose the farm. That was the secret. Tell your girls, because she kept it from everyone. The only person that knew was Rita, and then Rita blabbed it, and then Alice heard it, and then she got upset and found, so I don't think it's that she has these big secrets. I just think that she doesn't share some of that stuff. And it was a big secret last season that she kept from Kat about the land, because it was her land too. And she's like, I could be helping you. Brady tried to help. I don't think there's some big giant secret.
Well, they also, as Barbie says here, Barbie thinks her family is criminals, but that brings up the point that we don't know anything about her family. That's something that
learn about
that could bear some exploring.
Yeah. Yep. I want to see. I'm excited to see that and what goes on about what's going on with them and her background. I get that. This Catherine has the ring, the baby, Casey, Thomas's connection to Jasper. What does Elijah truly know? Who pushed Alice? Some people
I'd like to see them solve some of the stuff that exists right now before they create another era. No more pond jumping until they wrap up the ties, the loose ends that we're dealing with right now.
I didn't take it that way, Cindy, because she kind of said, I want my memories to be for my own, and I don't want when she sees me back then to judge me. Like, that's kind of like what Alice was saying too. Like, I don't think it's a big secret, but who knows? Alice pushed Alice. I heard that. Why does the pond send people to these different times? What is the purpose? Grandma Fern talks about a daughter-in-law. Who was that? Yes, I think Alice pushed herself. I just want Colton to come back to the present day. I know his death makes it unlikely unless he's not really dead, but that's the ultimate way home payoff for me. I want to know Elliot's mom's name. They did say it, didn't they?
Is it Emma? Oh no, that's the ex-wife.
No, I felt like somebody said it somewhere and I caught it. And but I do know that he thinks she's dead. She ran away and that she's dead. I don't know. There's a lot. I see y'all have a lot of questions. So do I. And some of them better be answered because there's quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those things I don't want. I don't care if I don't know Colton's mom, Elliot's mom, Max's mom, Dell's parents. I want to know about Dell's parents because of Dell. But all those things they could unravel at another time, or if they never said it, that's fine. But Casey, we need to know who she is. I need to know what's going on with that ring because they made such a stink about it. Not she, Casey, they. We need to know who Casey is, who they are. We need to know, and it's a K with a C, which was interesting because it reminds me of that emblem that they always showed with Kat and Jacob, KJ. Remember that? They would always show KJ. So I'm curious to see that. Sam, I don't know. What's his secret? I don't even really care about the character.
I do, because I think it's related to Colton.
Yeah, I feel like
he's being deceptive to Dell. That could be a possibility. I don't know that he is, but that could be. I don't know. I just hope they answer some of these questions in the next 2 weeks.
I think that could be, Brianna. Those kind of go together, almost like the ring's a key to it. I don't know. Yeah, I know. All right. Well, we're going to keep plugging ahead, right?
Did you have any instructions for Lynn in terms of her address, or did you give that to her already? Did I miss it?
No, I think Lynn can just message me. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think so. I know a lot of people think that, but I don't think that. I don't think she gave birth to another child because if she did, she just so simply talked about it in conversation about, when she was helping with the horse birth and the horse and, I don't know. I don't know. I have a vibe for that, but whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Long lost brother. Mm,
I think that is a very plausible theory. And if it
mm-hmm.
is, I can't, the ick factor is just too much for me. She's been sleeping with her husband's brother and didn't know it. I think that is just, that's a deal breaker.
I hear you. Yeah. You want to know if there's a season 4? So do I.
Just wait to make sure what you're hearing, if you hear anything, that it's official from an
Well,
official source.
yeah, people put in the chat box, and I removed it. Stuff that's on. I don't even know why they fall for it or why they click it. It's that stuff on YouTube, and I can't stand that YouTube allows it. Comes from out of the country too. It
Yep.
is like what we call clickbait. Do not click it. Do not put it on the. Well, it would never get approved for the fan page, but it slips into the feed. Sometimes they get rid of it. Nobody knows that there is a season 4.
Well, the
If
powers
I
that
know
be
there's
know.
this, pardon me.
I said the powers that be know. They're
Yes,
just keeping
they
us
know.
on pins and needles.
I don't know if they know. They might be still trying to decide because of ratings or whatever. I don't know what their decisions are. I'm not saying it's a gloom or doom thing. I'm just saying I don't know. And it has not been officially published. And believe me, when it's officially published, we will put it out there. Yeah. And they're agreeing with you, Kathy. That would be a yuck if that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, friends. Thank you for joining in. We're coming to an end. Look at my little froggy. He's so
8
cute.
down, 2 more to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
If that frog goes straight up in a texture, you'll have a frog in your throat.
You're funny.
That's a phrase we used when I was a girl, back when dinosaurs ruled the earth.
Yeah, I think if they get a season 4, it will be on Hallmark Plus. That's what Lillian's saying. I love it that it'll be on Hallmark Plus. I'm okay with that. I like it because what happens is, the exact day, everybody will get it at the same time. It'll be on the
Everybody that
exact.
has Hallmark Plus.
Oh yeah, if you have Hallmark Plus. Yeah, absolutely. Now, yep, I just think that
But
would
I
be
think it still needs to be somewhere where it's available to folks who don't have Hallmark Plus.
sadly not in Canada. Here we go with the no, not me.
I was when the conversation was happening. Is it, who said that? Lorena.
A lot
When
of
the
people did.
conversation was happening earlier, like when the way home and what are you going to watch? Um, I think we've mentioned this in different podcasts, but I am just a total nerd geek for a show called Republic of Doyle, which comes from California, which comes from Canada. And so I go to the CW network a lot to watch some of the Canadian series that have come over.
Yeah, me
Republic of
too.
Doyle. There's one that is running right now by the same actor who starred in Republic of Doyle. It's called Saint Pierre. We don't have it yet, but when it comes, I'm going to be jumping all over that. And there's also something called the little boy. Which one is that? I'm blanking,
Son of
Roxanne.
a bitch.
Son of a Critch, which is not science fiction or anything, but it's a great family drama, and it's humorous and funny and family oriented. So there's stuff out there that I'm interested in catching up on once the way home is done.
The whole thing about sadly, I already pay to watch Hallmark through Friendly TV. Don't want to pay extra for Hallmark Plus. First of all, Hallmark Plus isn't even that expensive.
Well,
I mean,
it's that's kind of relative. I mean,
no, what I'm trying to say is I'm looking at all the other streaming systems that they do have. And when you price them up against each other, it's not all of that much more expensive. But getting back to this whole thing, people love there are no commercials. Um, I get sad by that because that is straight up how you generate your cash. That is how you pay. So you pay by ad revenue. That's how you get money. When you have subscriptions to all of like different types of streaming systems, all you get is a subscription pay. That's it, which is not a lot of money. It is way different. It is like 700 um 700 times less than if you get like an ad revenue kind of thing. But when you become a big streaming system like Netflix, that's when you make big giant cashola and you can, sell the rights to other countries and all kinds of stuff like that. So, I would rather have it on Hallmark Plus than not have it at all. That's what I would like. And there's so many ways that you can you can get it. So, um, like people are over here sharing with each other how that can happen. I truly wish that the original plan went through. I truly wish that they gave it to us on Prime. I mean, not on Prime, on Hallmark Plus, and they showed it during the prime time in the fall, like they were going to, instead of giving us the death slot is a Friday night when it came to ratings. I really wish that's what they had done. But I mean, they didn't, and it's their, they got people, I hope, that are making, smart decisions for them. But I would rather, like I said, have it on Hallmark Plus than to not have it at all. And everybody that loves streaming because there are no commercials, that's going to be changing, especially if cable TV is on the down rise. I mean, not rise, on the down slope. They're going to be adding commercials for streaming TV. Yeah.
They've already done that for Prime.
Yes, they have. Not just Prime. There have been others too. Let's see. I'd pay for Hallmark Plus. I know some in Canada use VPNs and then have a fake US account, but it's not something I'm comfortable doing. Yeah, we don't advertise that, my dear. No. Oh, yes. When calls the heart is not pure gold. Their ratings, I'm sorry, are the lowest they've ever been in all of the years that they've been out. I mean, the lowest. They didn't even post their viewership last week, which was a little bit of a surprise for me. They're struggling. When Calls the Heart is struggling. Why do you think they're out there advertising like crazy for them? Now, I don't want that show to go away. I love that show, but they're not pure gold. Their gold is tarnished. Yes, you have to pay more for no commercials. Yes, they have tiered platforms. Yes, you are correct. Yes, 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 yes.
Hallmark Plus is still ad free for the
Pardon
moment.
me?
Hallmark Plus is still ad free for the moment.
Oh, it is. Absolutely. You are correct. They should have done Sundays with When Calls the Heart at 8 p.m.
They used to.
And they could have had The Way Home at 9 p.m. rather than Friday slot. I'm assuming there was a reason that wasn't possible.
They were on Sunday nights. And was it the Pink Ladies that they moved them to make room for the Pink Ladies, or was that the writers or something?
Pink Ladies has nothing to do with.
That's a whole nother network. But there was a reason they stopped. I don't know. I don't remember. This has been a couple years ago.
Yeah. Miriam, there are some Netflix that have commercials. Mine do not. I don't have any commercials on my Netflix.
Neither do I.
It's in certain areas, believe it or not, Miriam, that certain regions in the U.S. have the commercials. But out where I am on the East Coast in New Jersey, my Netflix does not have any commercials. But you are correct, Miriam. Depending on where you are, there are some pockets that do that. Yes, you are correct. They have tiered plans. You are correct. Yes, but not where I am. They don't. Yes, right, Deborah. It's like I was saying. It's the way they're going because you got to make money. You know what I mean? All right, this took a turn. Bye. Bye, ponderers. Bye, pond jumper plungers. I love that. Pond plungers.
I don't know. It just I keep picturing someone's gonna pull.
I know, and then they give
the pond's gonna drain.
I know, and they give you the award that it's on is a pedestal like stick. It was so funny. It was so funny. Yeah. You're welcome. Thank you for joining, everyone. Um, do you know when the announcement? No, I don't. I don't. I'm not holding secrets. No one shared that with me. And if they did, I wouldn't even talk about it. I wouldn't even be here saying anything that I'm saying because you could see it on my face. I'd be like, not good. Everything's on my face. I am not good at poker. Okay. First of all, I don't even know how to play poker. All
Oh,
right.
good.
Good
Now,
night.
poker face is going to be running through my head all night.
Good night,
Good night,
everyone.
everyone. See you next week.
Bye. I'm giving everybody a Italian goodbye where we keep saying goodbye and kissing and goodbye and kissing and goodbye and kissing.